Hello, everybody. Can you hear me? Great. Looks like it's coming through. Cool. Well, welcome, everybody. We're doing the Wallace Fall Virtual User Meeting. My name is Andrew. I've been here for about a full year up to this point. Client Experience Specialist here at Paladin. I handle dedicated stores and I like helping people out and doing webinars now. So anyway, I will go ahead and proceed forward with the what I got together for you today, which is just our 2021 releases. So got a big old list here of all of our releases, just a ton of things that I want to blow through here. So if there are any questions, just want to hold it till the end, and if there are any, we can answer them then. This recording is, or this webinar is recorded, which means you can always go back later and look through it if you'd like, but I just want to proceed forward. So, all right, just getting started with our 2021 releases. Here is our pick list report. Our pick list report here makes it an Excel spreadsheet, which makes it incredibly easy for your fulfillment department to complete orders. So in the invoice and quote module, you can click on recall transaction, go to quote/order, and you'll see a pick list option at the bottom there now. And what that'll do is that'll create what you're seeing here, which is a list of everything that need to be fulfilled. Excuse me, a list of everything that's unfulfilled, essentially. So details, customers, project, item, quantity, and price are all there. So it should make your fulfillment department a lot happier on actually fulfilling an order if there is one. Next up is declutter your quotes. So another thing is if you've got a ton of quotes all set up in Paladin, maybe the customer came in and purchased it another time, maybe they never came back, whichever, you can set up a certain amount of days that the quote will essentially expire. Now, when they delete, they'll be deleted forever and they cannot be restored. So maybe give yourself a little bit of extra cushion time if you would like to set this up. You know, if you want to do 7 days, do 10. If you want to do 30 days, do 45. Just to make sure that, you know, if you don't delete them on accident and then they're permanently gone. Next up here is the skip signatures on Mobile 2 Checkout app. So if you're using Mobile 2 Checkout at a trade show or out in the field or wherever you guys are at, you can now skip signatures with it. You have to have Mobile 2 Checkout version 1.1.5 or later. So if not, if you don't see this option, give Paladin a ring and we can go ahead and upgrade your app to the latest version. That'll allow it to happen. Next up is the transaction report, includes rewards IDs. This is not necessarily unique to rewards. We have other things in here, for example, point of rental that can allow for as a reward ID as well. More of just alternate ways of identifying customers in the transaction report or identifying whatever you need to find in the transaction report, like how many rewards customers do I have today or whichever. Really cool, really cool. All right, next is charge customer email utility. So the utility here will essentially allow you to email all of your charge customers. It'll set up pretty much everything for you, the subject, and then who is it's going to. Pretty much the only thing you guys need to enter is the body of the email. So if you want to send out promotions to your charge customers or ads, whatever you guys want to do, you have that option now. Next up is returns charge only. So this is if you want one of your cashiers or whoever in the store to only allow charge returns. So essentially somebody can come and pay with cash and you only want them to be able to return to store credit. You can now set that up as an employee access in File Setup Employees tab. You must have the invoicing turned on, obviously, to allow them to return. So but yeah, if you ever want them to just only return to charge only, there you go. All right, collect on delivery or COD. It's a feature that essentially allows your customers to pay for purchases when they are delivered. This is fantastic for if you have a customer that is over their store credits. They've exceeded their limit, but they still really want to get this purchase done. They just can't get it right then and there. Or you have somebody with no charge or no store credit. So yeah, if you want to set up a, essentially COD, we now have that. Next up is email purchase orders to any address. So normally for purchase orders, you have to set up a email address in file setup that allows it to go to that email when you create purchase orders. But now we have an option to essentially manually put in just a temporary email that you want to send just that purchase order to. So once you're done creating a purchase order on there on the left, you'll see purchase order complete. You now have an option for email. You'll enter in the email address that you want it to be sent to this one time. And below in that body, you'll see that there is your defaulted email addresses or your saved email addresses that they normally go to. But yeah, super easy way to just send a purchase order to a unique email if you need one at the time. Next up, for our multi-store customers here, we have now individual QR codes for each store. So before it had, one QR code for every store, but now we're looking at one QR code for each individual store. So if you need to have a specific one set up, or if you have different websites set up for each of your stores, you go to File, Setup, and then in the Forms tab, Invoice QR code pane, you should see that you can just add it in there for each individual store. All right, now advanced lookup searching customer account or ACH data. So this is really cool if you have their accounting number, routing number, or whichever, but maybe not their name, maybe not their rewards ID or whichever. You can now search in advanced lookup for that unique stuff and find who it belongs to. So if you have ACH all set up, just another way of finding your customers. All right, description 3 is now an advanced lookup keyword search. So if you are in keywords and you're trying to search something and maybe you don't remember what the part number is or anything like that, but you know what description 3 is, you can search that now and it should pull up in advanced lookup. This is very helpful if you have certain integrations that do utilize description 3, such as Volusion. But besides that, if you use description 3, just another way of looking up parts. All right, next up we have exclude description 2 from customer receipts. So if you guys have description 2s on certain items, which even sometimes some of them are set up automatically by your supplier, we can now hide it. My biggest thing here is item canceled by a supplier pops up all the time. And if I was a customer, I don't want to see this brand new thing I purchased that says item canceled by a supplier. So if you want to just cancel out all of description 2s from every item, you have that option now in File, Setup, and then Invoice Quote, or the Invoice Store, excuse me. Yeah, and you can just turn it off and turn it back on if you need to, if you want to have more descriptions in there. All right, GL summary. So in your GL summary, we now have added 2 different boxes here for coupons issued. This is for rich rewards only, be aware of that. But if you have rich rewards, GL summary, you can now see 2 new categories, which is really cool. So in asset accounts at the top there and expense accounts at the bottom, you should see 2 boxes there to get more information from that. All right, tax holiday. We've talked about this a few times here before, but fantastic feature for a very seemingly silly tax thing that the government puts out that makes all of our lives a lot harder. So for example, here, if you have a tax holiday that we set up, for example, they want $250 of a $400 bike tax-free. We simplified it by being able to right-click on that item or Control-T, and it'll allow you to essentially put in the amount that needs to be tax-free, and then it'll essentially break out the 2 boxes and show you what they look like, with one tax-free and the rest is tax normally. All right. Next up is insufficient stock on hand, or oversold alert is what we call it. This is fantastic for your lumber yards that have cashiers who are just ringing out for whatever they need, but they may not know exactly what's in stock. They may not be out there running around seeing exactly what they can or cannot sell. So if they ring up a specific lumber piece or whatever you guys need, it'll warn them. It'll say, hey, this is over our stock on hand or insufficient stock in hand? Would you like to update the quantity to current? They can hit OK. So, for example, if a customer walks up and says, hey, I want 20 pieces of that lumber, they say, OK, they punch in 20, hit enter, they'll get this alert. They say, oh, I may not have that much, and they hit OK. Now it shows 8. I'm like, well, I only got 8 in stock. Will that work? Or, they could maybe find a new part number. It's really good so you don't accidentally ring up this entire transaction, have them come out, find out that you can only fulfill about half of what they had ordered. So it makes life a lot easier for your cashiers. All right, Benjamin Moore program reports. So here in Benjamin Moore here, we now have reports that are required by Benjamin Moore. Essentially, if you click at the top there, maintain utilities, customer utilities, then Benjamin Moore OSR report. It'll show you that little drop down or that little box in the bottom left there, kind of fill it out how you want to fill it out. And then at the very right there, you'll see kind of what it looks like. It's just all the information that Benjamin Moore requires. So yeah, that's how you find it in Paladin. All right, just an update on our bin tags. So we got 3 new bin tags. Crazy, we're up to 40 something already. So you got plenty of options out there, including a very unique looking one, which is the barbell tag there on the left, item tag 18. This is really good if you want to wrap it around jewelry or other small items that you can't really just fit a bin tag on. It'll just wrap around it, and the 2 square pieces will clap together, and that's what you'll see. And then we have bin tag 41 and 42, just more unique looking bin tags that are specific if you want them to look like that. You can also see everything in the LTSR catalog, which will be linked in here as well at the end of the webinar. Also, you can call Paladin support. We can show you what it looks like, but you can essentially catalog of all of our signs, labels, item tags, all that fun stuff. All right, incremental part numbers. So if you have items that maybe don't have a UPC, maybe you don't want to set up an alternate part number, you can't really think of one, Paladin now has an option to add X part numbers, or X alternates is what we call them. So X 00001, 2, 3, and so forth once you're creating them. So punching in a bunch of items and you're like, I want an alternate, but I don't have a UPC to scan in or whichever. Click next X part number, add it, and that'll go all the way up to 999,999. So you'll have plenty of options there. All right, export your sales into Excel. So it's a new export feature that we have for the sales list. It'll essentially export your sale item part numbers and prices into a tab delimited text file that you can open in Excel. From there, you can edit items, prices, re-import data, do all that fun stuff. Just for all you data guys out there who like to mess around with importing and exporting, this is another great feature of making your life easier. You can access this from File, Setup, Sales List tab, click Edit, and then click Export. All right, accounting integration updates. So we have a ton of accounting integrations at this point. We have QuickBooks Online, QuickBooks Desktop, Sage 50 Cloud, Microsoft Dynamics GP. There's a ton of stuff out there. But you can now reverse purchase orders after vendor bills have been created. Your accounting software does require manager override. But yeah, you can remove your vendor bill from your accounting software separately. It's great. QuickBooks only, just be aware it's for QuickBooks, not for Sage 50 or Microsoft GP. If you enter a supplier invoice number when you receive a PO, it will be used as a reference number for the vendor bill in QuickBooks. Otherwise, a Paladin point of sale or a Paladin PO number is used instead. Cool. All right, Capital One trade credit rebranding. So a few years ago, Paladin essentially partnered with Blue Tarp, which was a trade credit union that we used to essentially give credits that you won't have to have any to worry about. But they ended up getting rebranded to Capital One trade credit. The process, if you have this set up, is entirely the exact same. You won't see anything different there. The branding is just a bit different. So rather than seeing Blue Tarp on the bottom left-hand corner next to cash, you'll see Capital One trade credit. Besides that, again, everything else is the exact same. All right, limit customer types to those that you create. So you can now set up customer types to hide default customers, as well as show them that you create for your store with a new setting. Customer types allow you to categorize customers and provide business statistics and that types of reports. So you can kind of uniquely separate them by customer types now. And they'll show up in the transaction report and the comparative revenue report. If you want to apply these settings, go to File, Setup, Customer Type, Hide Default Types from dropdowns, and then click Save. That seems to be it here. We have a ton more information on all of our releases. For example, 2021 A through D at this point. So you can find all of the links here in the webinar. Also, you can go to your Paladin point of sale webinars, and you'll find all of those links as well there. Also in the knowledge base as well. So that's it. Again, I believe we already had our cybersecurity awareness month. It's something that if you didn't visit already, I would absolutely go check it out, because it's done by CJ, which is our local resident cybersecurity expert here, and he did an excellent job at doing this webinar, and really it's an eye-opener for a lot of people. Cybersecurity is a lot more complicated than people think. I've been in the business for a long time, and it's still a little over my head. So it's incredibly important, and Paladin can really protect your business with cybersecurity, because anyone's out there affected. So go check it out. But besides that, that seems to be everything. So I will get the webinar closed out at this point. I don't see any questions. So you guys have a good day, and have a good week. Thanks. Bye.